Hello, and welcome to another video. We have the League One preview for this weekend's game week 21. If you've got any predictions, put them in the comments down below, and whatever team you support, put them down below and what you think your result will be this weekend. This league has been so inconsistent and is changed every week. There's such a big chunk of teams in the middle that could be pushing playoffs, but next minute they're mid-table. It's absolutely mental, but that's why we love this football, don't we? But we start with the 12:30 kickoff. We have AFC Wimbledon versus Mansfield Town. AFC Wimbledon and Mansfield Town are not the informed teams of this division at the minute. Both not winning in the last 5 games, which both teams are going to be very disappointed because AFC Wimbledon started the season well, and they picked up some really good points. That's probably why they are sitting ninth right now. Like I say, they've not won in 5 games. They've drawn 1 out of the last 5 games, with Mansfield the same. The last 5 games, they've only won 1 game. They lost 4 out of the last 5 games. So both teams are going to be disappointed with where they are right now. And to be honest, I think if anything, I think Wimbledon are going to bounce back from that, having not won. I think Wimbledon are at home. I think 12:30 kickoff. I can't see anything other than a Wimbledon win. I am sorry, Mansfield. I'm going to go AFC Wimbledon 2, Mansfield 0 for that game. And that will start us off the 12:30 nicely. We then go to our second 12:30 game. We have Huddersfield Town versus Wigan Athletic. Huddersfield Town are coming from the back of a 1-1 draw away to Northampton. Will they be disappointed with that? Quite possibly, especially where Huddersfield are and can be and should be really near pushing playoffs, which they are. Northampton Town are sort of lower end of the table, which they're going to be a bit disappointed with that. But Wigan Athletic, again, very similar. And like I say, it's so tight. Wigan win, they go above Huddersfield. Huddersfield win, they pull further away. It just shows you how tight this league is. It really is. But if you've got to look at the record right now, Wigan are the informed team. They've not lost in 5 games. They've drawn 2 and drawn 3 and won 2, whereas Huddersfield Town currently, out of the last 5 games, they've drawn 2, lost 2 and won 1. So personally, if you were to be a betting man and go for the most informed team out of the two, you've got to go for Wigan Athletic, which I know they're away, but I can see that happening in Huddersfield. They're just not on form at the minute. I think Wigan will win it 2-1 away. I think it'll be a tight game, but I think Wigan will pip it a 2-1 away to finish our 12:30 kickoffs. We then move on to our first 3 o'clock kickoff game on Saturday. We have Barnsley versus Leyton Orient. I think both teams will be very disappointed with how their week went, with Leyton Orient drawing 1-1 at home. Being a Luton fan, I know that's very silly to say, but Leyton Orient were winning until the 96th minute, until we managed to get a corner in the 96th minute and score a header from it. Realistically, we probably shouldn't have won that game, Luton, but Leyton Orient will be very disappointed that they didn't walk away with the 3 points. And Barnsley, coming off the back of a loss against Lincoln, 3-1 loss away to Lincoln. I think they can't be too disappointed with themselves. Lincoln are doing very, very well this year, currently sitting third in the league, my apologies. And I think they shouldn't be too disappointed with that. I know Barnsley are trying to push for the automatic promotions as well, and playoffs, whichever way you look at it, because, like I say, it is so tight up there. It is incredibly tight. But if you look at the form teams, Leyton Orient have not lost in 4 games out of the 5. Barnsley lost the last game, drew the game before that. They've only won 2 in the last 5 games. I think Leyton Orient, I know, again, they are the away team, but I think Leyton Orient could snatch a result here. And I am going to say Leyton Orient are going to win this 1-0 against Barnsley. We then move on to our next 3 o'clock game. We have Blackpool versus Lincoln City. Both coming off the back of fantastic wins in midweek. You had Blackpool winning away to Rotherham United, winning 3-0. And you had Lincoln City winning 3-1 at home to Barnsley. Both fantastic results. But if you had to say who's going to win this game, you've got to give Lincoln that credit, because they're currently sitting third in the League One table, having won 3 of the last 5 games. They won their last 2. With Blackpool currently sitting 22nd, I know they're going to be disappointed with that, but only won 2 of the last 5 games, and won the last game specifically. But like I say, that 3-1 win, a 3-0 win, away to Rotherham is a fantastic result considering where they are in the league. But I think Lincoln City are very, very good this year. Very, very good. And I think they will be pushing for the automatic promotion spot along with Bradford and other clubs, because like I say, it's so tight up there. But I can't see anything other than a Lincoln win here. I think Lincoln are going to win this game, especially being doing so well in the league. I know Blackpool are going to come off the back of a really good win and be very positive stepping into this game. But I think Lincoln are just going to be too strong for Blackpool, and I'm going to say Lincoln are going to win 2-0 away to Blackpool. We then move on to Bolton Wanderers versus Exeter City. Now, this game, I think, is only going to go one way. I know that's very harsh to say against Exeter, who I watched a couple of weeks ago against Luton in the Virtue Trophy, and I was impressed. Although they lost 4-0, I was impressed by them. They moved the ball well, but they're where they are for a reason. They're currently sitting 20th. They did win their last game, but they lost the two previous to that, whereas Bolton are just, they've not lost in 5. They've won 3 out of the last 5 games, having drawn the other 2. I think Bolton Wanderers will walk away with a win here. They've only lost 3 games all season. I think they're scoring goals. That although they are conceding, but they're not conceding lots. I think Bolton Wanderers will walk away with this game. I think it'll end up Bolton Wanderers will win at home against Exeter City 3-0. We then move on to Bradford City versus Reading. Bradford are second in the league. They are flying. Another team that have only lost 2 games this year so far. They're scoring goals. They're not conceding many. Very similar to Bolton. They have won the last 2. They've won 2, drawn 2, and lost 1 out of the last 5 games. They're playing a Reading team who will be very disappointed where they are this year. They are currently sitting in 17th position. Lost the last game. They've only won 2 of the last 5 games, drawing 2 and losing 1, which isn't an awful. It's not an awful sort of statistic over the last 5 games. It's not bad, but Reading, you sort of, me personally, I would think would be higher up the table. They're a very sort of in there and thereabouts club that sort of bounced League 1, League 2, League 1 and Championship, and I would have thought they'd be sort of pushing more playoffs, which again, it's so tight. They're currently on 22 points. They're not all like a million miles away from getting into the playoffs. It's very tight. Getting up to Wimbledon in 9th. They're only, what are they? They're only 5 points off that. 4 points off that, sorry. Which just shows you how tight that is. I think Bradford City are on fire at the minute. Like I said, they're currently sitting second. I can't see that changing this weekend. I think Bradford City will win this game comfortably, and I think it's going to be a comfortable 2-0 win for Bradford City against Reading. We then move on to Burton Albion versus Wycombe Wanderers. This is another game where I think it's going to be a bit of a mid-table clash. Wycombe currently sitting 13th, with Burton Albion sitting 18th. With Wycombe Wanderers currently winning 2 out of the last 5 games with 2 draws and 1 loss. With Burton currently losing 2 on the bounce, having lost 2, won 2 and drawn 1. So they lost 2. They're on a losing streak of 2. They won 2 games before that and then they drew. So I think this is going to be a tighter game than what it could be. Wycombe have been very, very, very inconsistent, considering where they've been over the last few seasons, pushing for the automatic positions and the playoffs. Currently sitting 13th, but again, it's so tight, they could end up in the playoffs. With Burton Albion being at home, Wycombe Wanderers away, I think their away form's pretty poor. I think this is going to be a draw. I really do. I think it's going to be a mid-table draw. I think this is going to end 1-1. We then have Cardiff City versus Doncaster Rovers. I think, again, I don't mean this any disrespect to Doncaster Rovers. I think this is only going to go one way. Cardiff City have won 4 out of the last 5 games. They've won 4 on the bounce, whereas Doncaster Rovers are currently sitting at 19th with Cardiff City first. I think Doncaster Rovers are going to be in for a bit of a torrid time, especially being away to Cardiff. I think it's going to be a difficult game. They've conceded quite a few goals, Doncaster, and Cardiff score quite a few goals, scoring the most in the league so far, only slightly ahead of Huddersfield. But I think, to be honest, I think Cardiff's going to have too much going for them in this game, and I think Cardiff are going to win that 3-1 against Doncaster. We then move on to Luton Town versus Port Vale. Now, do I really want to go into this? Because I know whenever I say anything that Luton will win, they always end up losing. But if Luton don't get a result here against a team that are rock bottom and not 1 in 5, something seriously has gone wrong. They got very lucky midweek with the result they got against Leyton Orient, scoring a 96th minute winner. 96th minute equaliser. Gosh, getting my hopes up. I think I really can't see anything other than a Luton win. And I really, really hope that's the case, because this is a game that Luton should be winning. And this is a game that they need to win, because they need to get more into the playoffs and keep up with them. Because again, drawing to Leyton Orient, we should have lost. That would have lost more points. I know we got a point, but still, it's you just need to keep ground with the teams above you. So I think Luton, yeah, you have to say they are the form team out of the two. They drew the last two games, so they've got 2 draws, 1 win, 1 loss, 3 draws out of the last 5 games. With Port Vale currently sitting 24th, bottom of the table, with 4 losses and 1 draw in the last 5 games. If Luton Town don't come away with a win here at home, I think there's going to be a lot of moans and groans around Kenilworth Road on Saturday. But I am going to say Luton Town are going to win that game 3-0 against Port Vale. I really, really hope so, because I'm going to that game. We then move on to Peterborough United versus Northampton Town. Peterborough United coming off a fantastic away win at Reading with a 2-1 win against them. Northampton Town coming off the back of a draw against Huddersfield. Northampton are currently sitting 14th in the table, with Peterborough currently sitting 21st. Northampton's form at the minute is, again, very inconsistent, very similar to Peterborough's, but I would say Peterborough's probably just nipping it a little bit, even though they are 21st, with 3 wins out of the 5, 3 wins and 2 losses, with Northampton currently with 2 wins, 2 losses and a draw. They drew the last game and haven't lost in 2, so they could look at the positive side. But I think that is, again, going to be a bit of a local derby. That could be a bit of a feisty game there. But I think that game will end up in a draw. I think it will finish in a draw. They always do games like that, finish in a draw, because they're one of the, you expect them to be feisty. But I think that is going to end 1-1 at Peterborough United versus Northampton Town. Our penultimate 3 o'clock kickoff is Plymouth Argyle versus Rotherham United. Rotherham just coming off the back of an absolute beating by Blackpool, losing 3-0. Plymouth coming off the back of a fantastic away win to Wycombe, beating Wycombe 1-0 away, and that's a fantastic result. It's kept them from losing sort of momentum going into the Christmas period, and also slipping up some places there. I know they're still 23rd, but they've not lost ground on the teams above them, which is massive for Plymouth. I think that is huge, having 2 wins and 3 losses in the last 5 games. Against a team like Rotherham, who haven't won in 4 games, they've got 3 draws, 1 loss and 1 win in the last 5 games. This is a very difficult one to judge. It really is a difficult one to judge, because, like I say, Plymouth come off the back of a fantastic win. Rotherham have just been absolutely battered by Blackpool, who are below them in the table and also fighting to stay in the league. It's going to be a difficult one. Plymouth are going to have their tails up in this game, but Rotherham have got a point to prove to try and not lose again to a team that are below them. I think Plymouth are going to walk away with a 2-1 win here. I think they're going to keep that momentum going of winning, and I think Plymouth will walk away with a 2-1 win. We then move on to our final game of the weekend in League One, what a cracking game we have here to finish it off. Another 3 o'clock kickoff. We have Stockport County versus Stevenage FC. This game is going to be, I think, my opinion, game of the weekend for League One. Stevenage coming off the back of a loss at home to Cardiff. But like I say, yeah, you're going to be disappointed. You're at home, but Cardiff are flying. They're just looking like they're going up. I really can't see any other difference than Cardiff City going up automatically. And Stockport County coming off the back of a fantastic win away to Doncaster Rovers, winning 2-0. This is going to be a cracking game. I think this is going to be the game of the day for me in League One. They're currently Stockport are sitting 4th in the league, with Stevenage currently sitting 6th in the league. I think Stockport County are, if you want to call it, the informed team. They've both got exactly the same record, really. Both teams have won 2, drawn 1, and lost 2. And yeah, I can see this go. I really can see this going anyway. Stockport, I would think, personally, being at home, I think are going to be a bit too good for Stevenage. As a Luton fan, personally, I'd want it to be a draw, because neither team will pull away, and it keeps us close in line with them. But I think Stockport could grab a win there, and I think Stockport County are going to win that game 2-1. and that will finish off our League One preview for this weekend's games. But guys, if you have enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that follow button or subscribe button, whichever one you're watching on. And yeah, guys, like the video. I really would appreciate it. And like I said before, comment down below what your predictions of this weekend will be for League One. So guys, thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.